I mean, where can I even start? I mean, there's so much on my mind, but hi, it's me. I haven't streamed since Wednesday, I think. Yeah, Wednesday was the 1000th stream. I streamed for 12 hours that day. And now I'm here. It's very funny because today I woke up 10 hours away from home. And despite that, I'm still on. I don't think I have ever done that when I've gone on a vacation before. But in my defense, most of my day has consisted of sleeping. So as a result, remember Mysterious Star? The reason I didn't stream this weekend was because I was going over to see an online friend. That's why I wasn't on. And that's why I have so much on my mind. But, real quick before we get started, I just need to go over to this scene, which consists of just the gameplay, just so I can grab a little thing for myself, because studio mode has been not so nice to me lately. There you go. Hi there, LBW. I think the best way to get started today is not even through the game, but through something else. How was my trip? Wow. Wow, Mew and Mewtwo. I think the best words to describe it are probably... I could just say it was fantastic. I could say it was phenomenal. But I could also say that it was jaw-dropping, surreal. It's like you're actually there, but it doesn't actually feel like it's happening. Like, there's probably, like, a number of things. When you get home from your trips, the return flight arrives at 8. I didn't fly Mysterious Star, I drove there. It was 10 hours there and back, but the drive back was really quick for me because I slept for like 9 hours of that drive. And the only reason is because there weren't any airports near where I was going. And also, I talked to Apple. She's comfortable with me saying this. Apple's in North Carolina. I didn't know if she was okay with me saying that, so I had to check in advance, but I know multiple people were asking about that. As a result, it did take around 10 hours to actually get there. And surprisingly, well, I would have to ask my dad, but I don't think there was that much traffic at all on the way back, which is the exact opposite to what I thought was going to happen. Also, where is my PNG? I had it enabled. What? There it is. Okay. So, yeah, don't sleep and drive. I mean, my dad was with me the whole way. He did all the driving, and now he's the one resting. Even when I got home, I slept a while. But I'm gonna get started with one thing. I'm gonna open up Discord, and I'm gonna go to a specific channel. And I'm gonna go over... Would I happen to have a window capture of this? I don't think so. Let me grab one then. It's a bit hard to see because my monitor is so big. But these are my goals of the year. These are goals that I always set either a month or a couple of months before a year begins. And I can say that there is actually something that I accomplished. I just have to check which ones. Did I add 10 members to the Benevolent Springers? I don't think I did. We'll work on that. Boom. 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 Yes. I have to grab the illustrious check mark. But I have to, like, copy it again, because for whatever reason, it's deciding it does not want to work. There you go! And here it is. That goal. I'm also getting rid of the TwitchCon goal, as I have no plans on attending this year anymore. But I'm happy. There are some things I can show you guys. There are some things I had to blur out, as I don't want to dox people. But, there are a number of places that I would say... Come on. Hi there, Clem. Oh. Let me... This happens all the time. Disable, enable. There you go. How are you, Clem? Are you our partner? Your participation in any stream team makes sense. I think no matter what kind of creator you are, it is still a good way to like interact with other creators. Like, I think joining as a stream team is certainly something that opens up lots of possibilities. But if that's something you ever consider, Mysterious Star, always remember that our doors are open. Eating some dinner and excited for the trip updates? Nice! Well, Clemmy, you know most of it by now. Most of what I'm about to say is not new, for anyone that I kept in touch with the past couple days. But, I believe there may or may not be some stuff. Hi there, Ben. Alright. Let's start from the top. I think this story begins the day before I leave, but the day before I left, which would have been like Thursday, I want to say. Yeah, that was Thursday. I remember in that moment, things were kind of starting to set in. because, like, there is a lot going on in my mind, and I was very nervous. I had just wrapped up a big 12-hour stream, and that was going to be my last stream for a while. A while as in, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, I had no intentions of streaming today. It's actually surreal that despite the fact that I was in a car for 10 hours, that I still have it in me to be on right now. But, we'll get to that later. I pretty much took that day before to just mentally prep myself, physically prep myself. I did not want to go there looking awful. That night, I could not sleep. No matter, what I did, I could not get myself to fall asleep because I had so much on my mind. So I figured if I was not going to fall asleep, then let me use that time to actually get what I need ready. And in typical Dill fashion, I pretty much overpacked like crazy because there were a lot of things that I decided to bring that I didn't even end up using. This happens to me all the time, but I think it's just that fear of like, what's it called? I think it's that fear of potentially missing out if like I don't end up bringing something and it's like, oh man, I wish I had brought this with me. So like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna absolutely bring everything that I could possibly use. And I used maybe 10% of those things. The drive over there was probably the longer drive in my perception because I was awake for more of it. I believe the states that we were in the longest throughout that drive were Virginia and Pennsylvania. While Pennsylvania took forever to get through, I think Virginia was longer by just a bit more. Because I think part of it might be that I'm not far from Pennsylvania myself, so actually getting through there is not actually a major issue. Like, it doesn't really take that long, but it still takes like a solid 3 to 4 hours. I remember going through there, taking a photo of like those signs to say, welcome to insert state here. Setting goals to drive a certain amount of miles every hour. Well, a goal I would set for my dad. Since, he wanted to set goals for himself. I think around 11:30 a.m., I started getting tired. Naturally. I mean, surprisingly, I thought that I was going to be exhausted the entire trip, but that was really more my dad, which rightfully so. If you're driving like, an insane amount of time like that, of course it's going to be a lot. I can confirm that. I just have to check. I'm not sure. Where we went was a lot different than where I thought we were gonna go. Um, no, we didn't. Legit, we were in, like, Pennsylvania and Virginia for, like, 4 hours individually. Then we were only in Maryland for 10 minutes. We were only in West Virginia for 20 minutes. It was just, it was just Pennsylvania and Virginia that were, like, the states that we were in extremely long. And then, just when you think that's not enough, when you're out of Virginia, guess what? Now you're in Tennessee for 20 minutes. Only to finally get there after that. But, yeah. That's as much as I can tell you without going into any more detail with that. But, by the time we got there, I remember a lot circling my mind. I know, as soon as we got there, my dad immediately fell asleep, rightfully so. But me, I was awake for like a couple hours, just like, oh my god. I'm seeing someone I met virtually for dinner. Because, what's it called? When we got there, the first thing I did while my dad was asleep was, I talked to Apple about some, places that we could go out to for the night. 9 hours, 38 minutes. That's actually shorter, than the drive we took. But that's awesome. I haven't been to Cape Cod since 2021. What else? Right. So, I will say, on the very first day, it's pretty easy to guess how I would feel. If you're actually standing in the vicinity of someone that you only know as someone that lives on your phone or your computer or anything of the sort, it's naturally not going to feel real and naturally not going to make sense. And the nerves, at least for me, they don't really hit until it actually happens and you're actually there. I was pretty much non-verbal that entire dinner, which I expected this because this happens to me. This happens to me when I get nervous about things. I remember when I went out somewhere with IRL friends from high school, I also got pretty nonverbal for a lot of it because I was nervous at first. But as time progresses, then I actually start saying more. Like, I wasn't completely quiet that night. I think I did say a few sentences, but that was all. It got so bad to the point that Apple had to give me a fidget, which, I mean, those work all the time. I can't believe that was the one thing I didn't bring with me. But, it's hard to describe what it was. It's like a fidget spinner, but not. Something you spin in the middle, but like, it's not like the 3 like prongs or anything like that. It was soothing. I liked it. It helped in that moment where I didn't really feel any tension by the time we left, but still nothing really made sense to my mind. That's pretty much how I could describe day 1, which was most of it being the drive, and only the tail end of it actually being any sort of IRL interactions whatsoever. That's exactly how I expected that I would feel. Only countries you've ever been to are USA many times and Bahamas. Hmm. No, it's not anytime recently. Now, I think things start to get interesting when we get into day 2, being Saturday. While I was still quiet, I didn't feel nervous. Like I had the best part about vacations is that that's one of the only times I actually have a proper morning routine to properly get up and get ready and stuff like that. Whereas when I'm at home, I'm kind of just sloppy and kind of unorganized about how I go about my day. So I don't know what it is, but what I know for a fact is for the nerves to be shaken off, I have to actually face them. I need to actually go through the moment, be incredibly anxious, so that way, after that, I actually feel a lot more comfortable. Because I wasn't feeling that bad at all. As it was earlier in the day, I had gotten some sleep. Yeah, surprisingly, that night I slept instantly. I'm just gonna tell you that is the only night where I sleep instantly. Oh my god, it's a Toxel. That's unfortunate. I forgot to mention that I didn't just exclusively meet Apple. I did get to meet her dad as well, which works out because I was going there with my dad. So, I think, one of the parts I found pretty cool was that, my dad and Apple's dad got along pretty well. They just got into a deep conversation, and I honestly just listening to some of the funny stories that Apple's dad had was pretty wild. I've never been outside the country, Ben, so naturally, no, I haven't been to Canada. From the Mocha Prairie. From where you live to Montana and back. That's fair. On Saturday, we went to a creek, and then after that, we went somewhere else. I think we were outside the country one day. Maybe. There's no set timeline for that, though. I'm sure it would take a little while. Lost my train of thought. Right. I am not a nature person. I would just like to emphasize that I am rarely someone that likes to go out, hike, walk, or anything like that. That is not me. It's never been me. But I had to embrace it for this vacation. And we pretty much walked through this pretty crazy terrain, I know Ben's gonna make a pun, but it's like, but it was very rocky and stuff. And this was pretty funny because I actually have kind of gone on sort of a walk slash hike slash something of the sort before for an IRL friend's birthday back in 2023. So like I had some experience, but that's not saying much. But I think the main thing I want to get at, which I'm pretty proud of, is that I did not fall. I did not trip, I did not fall, I did not slip or anything like that. Like, what's it called? It kind of felt like, I guess you could say it kind of feels like, I don't know what specific term it would be. Like climbing up and sliding down. I don't want to just say that's Mario, because that could apply to many different games. But it felt like all of those, moves and abilities that you use in games, it felt like I was actually using those in real life. Which, that was pretty fun. Like, I enjoyed myself walking there and back, but what's it called? By the time we actually got to a spot where we were stopping, I remember Apple setting up a hammock, which, by the way, that was one of the funniest things I had ever witnessed. Because of the trial and error for her to actually get that set up, which, I think the only one who used that hammock was, her dad, because he had barely gotten any sleep. That means I was successful. No injuries. Yes. You tripped walking down a Grand Canyon path once? Oh god. I have never been to the Grand Canyon before. Maybe one day, though. I'm in the backyard. You're in it like an hour ago. I got a hammock for my 15th birthday, but... again, I'm not really an outside person. So therefore, it kind of wasn't used much. I believe it's in our, like, storage somewhere. Hi there, newbie. Could be, though. Maybe. So, I was too much of a chicken to swim in a creek. Apple, meanwhile, she just went straight in. Even slipping and falling. And almost getting in, almost breaking something. Which... I think the only reason that I did not break a bone, or I didn't fall, or anything like that, is because of the fact that, I was too nervous to, what's it called, go even further, I guess. Because, like, where we were, like, it was mostly water by the time we got to the spot that we were in. And there was, like, hardly anywhere that you could walk, because everywhere else was too steep. So, I just kind of sat somewhere, kind of just enjoyed the, like, sounds of nature, while, I think just, I think my dad and Apple's dad only dipped their feet in the water, whereas Apple just went in straight up. And then me, I just stood there, which honestly didn't really feel awkward or anything. Like, again, it felt nice. Like, really just getting to enjoy everything. Like, as someone who's not really used to being outside in nature, like, it was still an enjoyable experience. I haven't been to the Grand Canyon either, despite being closer than me. In fact, you haven't gone to Arizona either, unless you having a layover in Phoenix counts. It's the same way that I don't count a layover in Texas as me being in Texas. Um, you went into a creek once like a real lazy river, except the end of the river was a waterfall. You almost fell down and lost your glasses. Oh no. I'm glad that didn't end up being the case. Well, I'm glad that you didn't fall, but sorry that you lost your glasses, unless I'm misreading that. Anyways, after that, which I have photos of that, but at the moment I'm trying to be selective of the kinds of things that I send publicly. That's why any IRL photos and videos I've only shown to friends, but I'm gonna figure something out to actually like post things to like probably the photos and videos channel on my server, or maybe like my Instagram or Blue Sky, stuff like that. Especially a pretty big one that got the Sunshine Squad pretty excited last night. I know that's gonna be something that shocks a lot of people, but I haven't gone to that part. There's a proper order in this. We have to take our steps to actually get there. Anyways, after that trip to that creek, my dad and I kind of hung back at the hotel for like a couple of hours just to kind of get our bearings and also shower and stuff. I think it was closer to the evening when we decided to head over to like Apple's place for a while, which that was another nature experience for me, because it was all about sitting outside at a fire pit and just again, just sitting out by the fire, just enjoying the warmth. But also, I believe Apple's dad was grilling hot dogs, which I had not had a hot dog since a baseball game in 2015. And that was not... No, we didn't roast marshmallows. We sat out there for a solid, like, I want to say like 3 hours or so. Congratulations on the 50 stream streak, Dan. You've gone through the effort to watch 50 streams in a row, and that means a lot. I appreciate you. And I hope you've been keeping well. Okay. When I tried that, hot dog for the very first time, since it was, like, just grilling stuff and not, like, how it would be at a baseball game. Oh my god, that was one of the best things I have had in forever. Oh my god, I've been missing out. I mean, I know Apple agreed, because as soon as she had her first one, she immediately wanted another one. Same with my dad. Like, oh my god, that was great. Seeing Apple's dad, like, start up the fire pit and stuff was pretty crazy as well. Like, pretty much everything was a lot more nature than I'm used to. I'm not used to things like chopping wood or, like, starting a fire or things like that. That's not me. But when I actually experienced that, it's... Well, I don't know if I consider a hot dog a new food, because I've had it before. It's that, I needed to try it at a different spot. That's all. But, yeah. Although I guess, me having something as a 10-year-old compared to a 20-year-old is much different. Which, today's June 8th, isn't it? Yes, it is. That means that I have exactly a month left of being 20. That's wild to think about. Nice. But yeah, that was one of the greatest things I had eaten in a while. Despite the fact that I only like things plain, it was still fantastic. I could probably show a photo of that. I'll have to dig that out, but if it's about food, then of course I can show that. But, because Apple got me into a habit of taking photos of what I eat. So now I just have a collection of stuff. It wasn't until that night at the fire pit that Apple and I took our very first photo together. When we got there, when we first got there, I showed Apple the Sprigatito plush and the Mudkip plush, which, she did the funniest thing with the Mudkip plush. Hi, Ellie. I hope you've been keeping well. Apple proceeds to grab my Mudkip plush by the fin and says, take a photo of that. God, it would take forever for me to grab all the photos I got from the trip now, but if I can find at least a couple of them, I will show you guys. It has been a while, Ellie, but I haven't streamed because I was out on a vacation to see Apple. I've pretty much been highlighting the story from the beginning up until the end. I'd like to think that where I'm at now is kind of the middle. Anyways, that was hilarious. She was a lot more gentle with Sprigatito. I did send the Mudkip photo to Swamos, and naturally he had a funny reaction. What's it called? Mid-till. Yeah. Also, yes, Ellie, it was amazing. I was, like, quiet for most of it, but that doesn't mean that, that nothing big happened. It wasn't until, Sunday where I started to talk a lot. Anyways, after the funny photos, that was, I actually kind of went out of order there, because it was after that that we started having the, like, hot dogs, and then Apple insisted that I, had this, hand-picked watermelon that she was really proud of, which I'm not much of a watermelon person, I'm gonna be honest with you. But thing is, I wasn't gonna be rude and not have it, so I had the whole thing. Not the whole thing, but just the slice that she gave me. It wasn't the best thing I've had, but it wasn't the worst either. But yeah. Apple's dad is so funny. He is so funny, oh my god. My dad and I agreed that, like, he's just hilarious. Just the different stories and stuff. And also the similarities between, seeds or seedless. Unfortunately, I believe it had a couple of seeds. You love watermelon? You'd have to ask Apple about that. Although, Apple's been, like, super busy and stuff. And now that I've actually seen her in person, I know why she hasn't been around much virtually. But black seeds, they looked a lot more white, if anything. They weren't black, like how it is in like a Yoshi game. after we spent that night at the fire pit, why does the seedless kind? Oh, that makes more sense. Oh yeah, I remember mod anniversaries being added at some point. Congratulations, Fluff. I think I saw that right before the trip. Also, yeah, nobody redeemed first. I can't believe it. I was thinking about it in the back of my mind, and I'm like, how the heck did nobody think to redeem that? Not even Mysterious Star. What's it called? Can't for anything. Alright, that night, as we were leaving, you just assume it's always taken. That's not how it is here. My channel's more on the quiet side, meaning that since I don't really have like a currency for points and stuff, there's no guarantee that first will actually be taken. There will be some moments where it's never taken at all. What's it called? As we were leaving, the fabled thing that everybody... This was not recorded, but it was the first instance of it happening. Everyone had anticipated a dilly-dapply hug. That was something that so many people wanted, for this trip, and for the first couple of days I was way too nervous for it because I mean, again, I was a bundle of nerves that first day. Like, I could not move, I could not speak, I was just frozen in place. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get to the Prime subs and stuff later, just because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Whole mod anniversary has worked for you, said it was your 6-month spot, even a mod since 2023. Huh. For Fluff, I was correct. Not one, but 2 hugs happened that Saturday night when I finally started to open up a bit, which, again, those were not recorded or anything. There is a recorded one, but again, we'll get to that later. Did it feel like some sort of fabled, crazy feeling that I've never felt before? No. No, it didn't. I didn't expect it to. But, it was still great. Something I definitely needed. And wanted. But, it was something that was hyped up, which is why, I felt it was worth mentioning. So the first time it happened was that Saturday night. And then that marked the end of day 2. Which, definitely a lot more eventful than, day 1. But the trend that you're gonna see is that the more we get into the trip, the more eventful it gets. Therefore, Sunday was by far the most eventful day by far. Before we get into Sunday, I'd just like to emphasize that, Saturday night I did get to meet, a couple of more of Apple's family. In particular, I believe her, younger cousin and his dad. The reason I'm mentioning them is because on Sunday, I got to plan the day. Apple had all of her birthday stuff, so that meant that it was my turn to plan a day. So I decided No, nature. Well, not really, because, one of the things we did was once again going to Apple's place, but, the first thing I did was the thing that I had been wanting for a while, bowling, which, I wasn't the best, but I wasn't the worst. I did better in the first game than the second one. But when you add the points in total, I was not the worst. But anyways, the reason I had mentioned a little bit of Apple's family is because that was who I played bowling with. I had so much pressure on me. Well, not like actual anxiety pressure, but in the sense that I had to represent my family. I was the only one from my family who was playing the game because my dad hurt his back trying to figure out a potential oil issue with the car. So I had this big role to fill. I'm just glad that I wasn't the worst. I believe my first game I got a 90, and the second I got a 71. I did terrible in the second game. I didn't even get a spare. But, like, it was very fun. I had a great time, and I really like how they did bowling in that alley, because most bowling alleys I go to, they're timed. So you have a certain period of time to play. So 2 hours, for example. And if that clock runs out, you either have to go to the desk to extend your time, or you just have to leave. But this one, the way it worked was it didn't shut off until a certain amount of games. So you can say, oh, hey, I'd like to play 2 games. I'd like to play 3 or something like that. And not have to worry about how long you take. I really like that format. I think that that's a much better way of going about it. Anyways, that was fun. We got food after that, then, and then the next part of the day was once again at Apple's place for, where I was by far the most talkative I had been the entire trip, because, the first, part of it, was spent with me sitting, on this, like, bench swing on a gazebo, which was really nice. And while I was there, I was playing Pokopia. And, since I had my Switch on me, I started a train, because more people would see me have a Switch and be like, hey, I'm gonna go grab mine. What's it called? Apple saw that I had my Switch on me, so she asks her little cousin, hey, can you grab my Switch? Which, by the way, her Switch is a lot more decorated. I don't really have a case or anything of the sorts on mine. I mean, I have, like, a thing... I have, like, a case that I put my Switch in, but I don't actually have, like, I don't know. Words are difficult. That was another big, that was another big moment playing games together in the same room, except we weren't in a room, we were outside. That was the first time ever that I played Pokopia locally. We went to a Dream Island together, we spent a little bit of time here, and then I took a video on my phone proving that we were in the same room. I'm just gonna use room because it's easier for me. The same area. And that was pretty funny. I think we played Pokopia for like 30 minutes or something like that. Which may not seem long, but by this point it was getting really late, so if we were gonna cram everything we wanted in, then that was the moment for that. So once I grabbed my Switch, it prompted Apple to grab hers, and then it prompted her little cousin to get his as well. He was the only one with a Switch 1. I believe Apple got a Switch 2 like sometime last month. After that, we got to play this Mario version of the Game of Life that I found on my trip to Connecticut a couple of weeks ago. I got to play it for the first time with my brothers, I believe a week or two ago as well. And it was a much different version of the Game of Life. It's not about getting jobs, it's not about reaching retirement and getting the most money. It's about defeating Bowser. The way it worked was there were multiple star spaces on the board. Star spaces of a specific color. If you had 10 coins on you, you can buy a star, and you grab the color in question and attach it to whichever character you're playing as. You can either play as Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, or Peach. I played as Mario. Apple's cousin played as Yoshi, and Apple played as Peach. It was very fun. It had you know those like action cars from the Game of Life that had like these spin to win games? Even though those were there, they were also put together with games like Rock, Paper, Scissors or something like that. There were also arm wrestle ones, but I took those cards out because I can't arm wrestle to save my life. So that was pretty fun. I got really into that game as well. I mean, I wasn't like super competitive or anything like I usually am, but oh my god. It was a whole lot of fun, silliness, and it also showed me that surprisingly, at the right age, I'm really good around children. Because I open up a lot and I get really silly. Makes me wonder what's gonna happen when my nephews get a little bit older. I wonder if I'll potentially be one of those uncles, the like one of the more fun ones. The only reason I could say that is solely for the fact of being a content creator, but I don't know. Anyways. Oh, one more thing about that. That was pretty much, my experience, or sort of like a demo of what it would have been like if I had a younger, sibling and I wasn't the youngest in my family. So I got to... In that moment, it felt like I got to feel the experience that older siblings got to feel. With, like, games and such. When we were done... Since I was gonna be driving home the next day, I believe everyone except for me set off like sparklers and fireworks, which thankfully I had my headphones with me to block out the really loud sound of that. But it was really pretty, which that made me remember a thing that I forgot to mention in the creek. So back at the creek, one of the things that I saw were butterflies, and I had never seen butterflies that big. And me being someone who plays Animal Crossing, I would see butterflies and be like, oh hey, that's the butterfly in Animal Crossing. Or in this case, hey, those are the sparklers that are in Animal Crossing. It's very funny because New Leaf was how Apple and I first met. So it was very fitting that that was kind of an element incorporated in the trip. I've seen a butterfly before, just really tiny ones. They were just... The ones that I saw were much larger. After that moment, that's when I recorded, or that's when I asked my dad to record me and Apple, hugging, which the first time, he forgot to hit record. So, like, by the second time where he actually does hit record, I have a silly reaction to start. Which that right there kind of proved just how open and expressive I got in that moment. Then after that, we waved goodbye. I got back to the hotel room, proceeded to not sleep at all, because we would have had to just wake up early and then leave for home. That's another thing I forgot to mention as well. So, as I mentioned, Friday night I slept instantly. Saturday night, I did not sleep until, until basically Sunday, because it was like 5:15 in the morning where I finally got tired. I think it's just because a lot had been going on in my mind and just how surreal everything was. And then, as for Sunday night into Monday, I mean, that's just too short of an amount of time for me to try and get sleep at all. So that just wasn't happening. And that is probably why the drive back today consisted of me mostly sleeping. We got coffee. I barely had the coffee and I passed out around like 7:30 in the morning because we left the room around 5 something. We had like multiple stops for like gas stations, coffee, food, stuff like that. And we got home around, we got to New York around a little bit before 3 p.m. So I actually didn't just get back or anything like that. It's actually been like, as of now, it's been 8 hours since I got home. I got food just before, and Apple was very shocked to find out just how quickly we got home. Because again, like, the drive home felt way quicker because I slept through most of it. Pro tip, if you're not the one driving and you want to get through a long drive, get tired. I don't know what else to tell you. But the only times I woke up during that drive were for the rest stops. And also that like very last moment where we were about to head home. But even when I got home, I wanted to talk to my mom about the whole trip, but I was just so tired. I got home, lied down in bed, couldn't even bring myself to bring all of my stuff in, and I just fell asleep. I think I woke up sometime around 7:30. Had a bunch of tech issues with my setup, but eventually figured those out. Then I started this stream, and then I started telling the story that I've been telling this whole time. I think I covered everything. that was me trying to describe everything very briefly. But I think my words aren't enough to describe the feeling of that trip. Because even though there were many highlights, that doesn't mean that there weren't negatives either. Like, it was still, it still may not have been the greatest experience, but it was a really fun one regardless. And, that was just, a really unexpected thing to happen. And for those that may not remember, the way that Apple and I first met was back in February, which that's another surreal thing. Like, it's one thing that I've had a goal to meet someone online IRL, but the fact that it was someone that I only met not even 4 months ago is pretty wild. What's it called? We first met when I was streaming Animal Crossing New Leaf, and I was streaming the Festival with Bobby. And I was trying to get all the feathers. I was trying to get all the Bobby items. And also, if you don't know, it's a running gag that I say Bobby in a very funny way. It may or may not have influenced something else later down the line. Oh yeah, Bobby was being a jerk. An absolute jerk. My god. I believe around 11 something. And no worries, Clem, take your time. 11 something, Apple popped into the stream just being like, whoa, cool setup you got here. Could you help me with mine in a very sus way? And the reason why I say this is because she herself admits to this. So naturally, I was very cautious, and I'm like, I've never met you before, I've never seen you before. What are your plans? Is this a scam? Is this a troll? Like, one of those bots? Is it gonna be someone asking me to see their work? No. She turned out to be a really nice person, because she just wanted to know how I was streaming New Leaf. I just explained the process, how I was streaming it, and after my 11-hour-long stream was over, I decided, you know what? I remember this user popping in asking me for help with stuff. I should see if they're still streaming, because they mentioned that they were going to try it out. Sure enough, they were. And I remember being maybe slightly nervous, but not really that nervous at all. And then, like, writing my first message, and just the moment that I sent my first message in her chat, like, she had immediately praised me as, like, the MVP, because I was the reason that she was able to set up Animal Crossing for the stream. I believe that was one of her first streams in years as well. But that first stream that I watched, we ended up chatting for like 4 to 5 hours. Something like that, maybe 3. That's the latest I have ever seen her stay awake. I have never seen her stay awake that late since, because it was around 4:45 a.m. But that was the start of something pretty wild, because right after that, we frequently saw each other in each other's streams. I had shown Apple, like, Clem, Carver, and all of my other friends, where through Apple I also got to meet people like Sage and Cheshley. And we all kind of formed our own like friend group where what's it called? That was what sparked the charity event in April to be as successful as it was. But Apple was always like an older sibling to me. Like, the way she described it is that if I was ever not feeling well, if I was ever stuck in the mud, she would join me there because that's what makes a true friend. When my PC had completely given out back in March, I was feeling very demotivated that day, but Apple literally dropped everything to make sure that she could help me out and that I was feeling better. Same with a moment a little bit before where I was just having a depressive night. That was one of those friendships that just connected really quickly. Normally, I know it can take quite some time for a friendship to really blossom and form, but that was one of those moments where we kind of just clicked instantly and kind of grew that special bond. That led to us streaming together a lot, having our like our weekly like Friday collabs. I know those haven't happened recently. Again, Apple's been kind of busy. But my birthday gift for her was this like keychain that says #1 sister. I gave that alongside a chain that said #1 friend, although she decided to give it to her younger cousin. And one of the cutest things I found out today was is that ever since I gave that, well, I guess we by extension gave that to him, he's been wearing it all day. And wants to like put it on his backpack to sort of like flex and stuff, which we both found really cute. I'm just glad he really liked it as well. But yeah. It had been a goal of mine for many years to actually see someone virtually in person, but the way it actually happened was not in a way I ever expected. Apple, of course, was also my, oh, I knew something was missing. Apple was also the one to make, like, the, alternate versions of my PNG, so, like, the Sprigatito, but also, not only did she make those completely for free, because originally that was, like, an April Fool's joke, but we decided, it turned out so good that we decided to make, evolved forms of those as well. But also, she had made pixel versions of Azure. There's not just this winking one, but there is also this smiling one. We have this one like this. We have just a normal face, and we also have this one. It was really sweet, and it was during a Pokopia stream. I think my very first Pokopia stream, or second one, that she made that, and I loved it so much that I just wanted to keep it on my live scene, and it's been there ever since. We're gonna ignore the fact that I forgot that it was disabled for something. But she of course made the art for the Benevolence Bringers event. Well, where we actually went was not where Apple actually lives. LBW. It was actually more of a vacation home. That's a detail I forgot to mention. So I did not get to see Muffin. I did not get to see Sophia. But it was still fun regardless. Um, what else? Nidorina. Apple was always the person that I talked to immediately after every single therapy session. As again, she was basically like my cheerleader. What's it called? That was just her role as like an older sister. And what else? She was the reason that I was able to make really big decisions in my life. No, I didn't really cry. Again, I haven't cried like properly like that since before I was 13. After I turned 13, ever since like depression and other things, I just lost my ability to really cry. What else? I remember when Apple did frequent co-working streams, I remember I would be up on the side playing Pokopia back when I was extremely addicted to the game. And then that would also just lead into me hopping on, and we just like we just have like an impromptu collab or something of the sorts. We even had a routine at one point where she specifically asked me every morning at around like 8:30 or something, call me, because we of course exchanged numbers. Call me. So I would call her every morning. That call would be her alarm clock, and we would get ready for the day and then voice chat, and we would just spend the day together. And the reason is the reason that routine started was that was the point where I lost my PC. Not lost it, but like it just stopped working, and I had to like take it in for repairs for a week. So that was like her way of sort of like helping me out and supporting me, and it just ended up being so fun and was so successful that we decided to keep that general routine for a while. We were an active presence in each other's lives so much to the point that if there was ever a time where we were not talking, or like, what's it called? One of us was really busy, the other got really worried. There was a time, I think, last month, where for the first time ever, I hadn't talked to Apple for over a day. Because we had talked every day since sometime in March. And again, since we're such a big presence in each other's lives, Apple got really worried about me. Not knowing that I was actually in Chesley's stream for a bit. As she had not popped in there much. But She was like calling me through Discord, my phone, just like, hey, are you okay? And it was so sweet because I think in that moment I was getting food. I just had to like pop into the stream and be like, hey, I'm all right. I'm around. I had a difficult weekend, but I'm still trucking. I think that was where like the older sister in Apple really sparked because of just how close the both of us have gotten. But now it's a role reversal since Apple's had a lot going on, and even today, like, she was still in, like, vacation area. She, of course, hasn't really been available, which makes sense. I really got to see that, when I was over there, because she spends a lot of time with family, which is something that I need to work on. But yeah. Though unlike what happened when I was busy for a while, I did not panic or get anxious or worried. It was more just really missing her, because I already knew that this time of the year would be busy because, what's it called? Number one, her, like, birthday trip, but two, her eventual flight to Korea later in the summer. That's why you may have noticed that Apple has not streamed in a couple of weeks. But she's still around. We almost streamed together when we were over there, but the reception was just so bad that was not going to happen. So instead, we just played games together, and I took videos, so those are things I'll be able to send later. But to think that someone who had just popped into my chat, someone I felt cautious about initially, without she had first talked to me, like, would impact my life in the way that she did is absolutely wild. But, like, that sort of crazy impact is not new to me, because that kind of happened last year as well. That's what led to us to the Benevolence Bringers being created. Just a group of friends that I had met. So, like, I think the really important thing to remember is that, like, you never know who's going to come into your life. But anyone who comes into your life, they are there for a reason. And they can make something special happen. I just had this feeling months ago that something big was going to happen. And I feel like this was that big thing in question. Because therapy and Apple combined is what pushed me to actually be upfront with my mom and say, hey, this is something I want. I know the worries. I know the concerns of possibly meeting someone online. I know the risks. I know that I need to be cautious, but, like, this is something that I'm passionate about, something I believe in, and I actually want to go see her. And my mom was supportive about it, and my dad was skeptical at first, but he was on board with it as well, and he was the one that came with me. And he had a great time as well. He really loved the sort of nature aspect, as he himself is also a nature person. He really likes being outside and such. But we don't really get these experiences in our life because, I mean, I'm in my room watching videos and streaming. My mom is, when my mom is home, she's working from home and constantly in her room. My dad is only outside when it's warm out, if not probably like watching sports or something like that. Like, we never really lived a life like that. And actually getting to experience that was, what's it called? Really, really special. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers absolutely everything. Not just about that trip, but just how much Apple has impacted my life and how this is going to spark more trips happening because, what's it called? Now that my dad has actually experienced this and my mom has by some extent, they now support the idea of me seeing more of my friends. And it's a lot more likely. The only reason it's not going to happen for a while is because, well, put it simply, I'm busy. Our family is busy. Like, we've got my birthday next month. We've got, what's it called? We got my birthday next month. We've got my stream anniversary in August. September is really getting settled in college. And then October onwards, babies! One of my brothers has another baby on the way. And then in December, there's another baby from another brother. Then November is, of course, Thanksgiving and SGB, which is a society charity event. How are you, Carver? I'm happy to see you. I'm so happy you met someone like Apple and had a great experience. Absolutely. Like, this... Apple and everyone, like, has been, like, the biggest blessing of my life. Like, this allowed for, like, really big experiences. Like, this is going to change my life forever. Like, this has changed my life in the biggest way ever. I don't know if there's anything that will come close to that, aside from maybe if I meet, like, multiple online friends, like, at once or something like that, or, like, if we all go somewhere together, like, you know. Like, this literally changed the trajectory of my future, because, like, now it's open to, like, really big things. Like, this was the stepping stone in the key to something even bigger. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what will come of that. For now, as we are in this month, I'm going to be just relaxing a bit. I'm going to be, what's it called? I'm going to be taking a step back for a while and just really, really enjoying, like, a calm month of June before my birthday, which, what I thought was going to start on the 11th is now going to be different because, what's it called? Between my mom's business trip and some other stuff, my birthday stream now has to be even earlier than I said it was. And as a result, it might actually mark the first time ever. It might mark the first time ever that my birthday stream, like the actual event, happens during my birthday as well. I'm glad all is well on your end, though, Carver. But yeah, I'm definitely glad. Like, it was phenomenal. I've been blessed with the greatest friends, and I love each and every one of them with all of my heart. Like, this was never, like, something I expected. Any of this was nothing I ever expected. But, that's just how life is. Like, you can never expect things to just stay the exact same way for all of your life. Like, Sometimes there will be things that happen in your life that will steer you in a completely different direction. With this, my mind is the clearest it's ever been in a while. I was really tired during the 12-hour stream, the last stream I had. My brain was fogged, I, was very low energy, didn't really have much going on, I was just exhausted, and I needed to just take a step back, but I think this trip steered me out of burnout. I was on the verge of burnout last week, but, in a sense, through this trip, Apple saved me again, because, by taking that time, got that, major depression in 2023, getting to experience that happiness, that's, a really rare thing for me, and to actually feel that, I just want to be able to enjoy that and maintain that as much as possible, and, I mean, that's a goal of therapy as well, not only to just, combat that depression, but also be more independent, be better socially, and also even just improve my commentary. I felt like my commentary in streams recently, without having a proper story to tell and just reactions to the gameplay, I feel like sorry, I feel like they're not a lot I've always been a lot more chill, a lot more quiet, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing inherently wrong with that idea. But I still want to be able to improve even more. I mean, you can even tell right now the pauses, the silence. That is part of my condition, sure, but that doesn't mean I want it to always be that way. With how my brain works, I realize that I always need time to sort of process things and take a moment before I can actually say something, but that's a goal I want to work towards as well. I want to be able to work on my passion projects. I want to be able to speak better. I want to improve my stream setup and everything just to the best of my ability, and I just want to be a lot more organized IRL as well. My room is an absolute mess. It still is, but even through this, I could probably muster the motivation to actually clean and stuff. But I never would have imagined that I would make it to this point, and even now I still have a feeling that something else out there is waiting for me. I don't know what it is, but no matter what, I am very excited for that. My channel is still kind of stuck in a slump. I'm not afraid to admit that. There hasn't really been much going on this past month, and I feel like I've kind of made slow progress as a person and as a creator, and I want to break out of that. And with this new energy and new side of, well, not really new side of me, but more returning side that I haven't felt in a really long time, I really want, to take advantage of that and just, soar through the skies once again. That's been a recurring theme of therapy, is the way that I break out of a depressive cycle, a depressive shell, or anything negative of the sort, is that I break out, spread my wings, and I soar through the skies. That has been my constant vision of breaking out of something. And I want that to sort of be a recurring theme through my brand and my setup as well. Because I even remember things like crossing a bridge and having all of my friends around me, surrounding me and stuff like that. Like, even if that isn't flying, that's still crossing something from a high place. But, you know, I'm excited. There's so many, things that I need to prep, and what's it called? There's, a lot I want to get ready for my birthday and my streamiversary, and it means a lot that I have you guys on this journey with me, and whether you've only known me for a few months, a few days, or even a few years, you've been here since the start or remotely the start, like, each and every one of you has made a major impact in my life and my journey. You are part of my story, and I couldn't be any more grateful for that. Obviously, my story is by no means the perfect story. Like, obviously, it's had its ups and downs. We are all human. Like, no one is perfect, and I stand by that. But, like, no matter what role you have, no matter what title you have, like, you could be struggling in college, you could be the best in college ever, you could not go to college at all, and you can still make a really big impact, you can make really big moves in your life, and you can achieve what you desire. Self-doubt and other things may be a blockade, but that's the thing, it's a roadblock. A roadblock isn't just something that's impossible to break through. Like, obviously life has its setbacks, and that's not to say that, and that's not to talk down on those that have, like, had those, like, bigger experiences, like with making it through college and stuff, like actually getting through education and getting that degree is still a really special thing, but it's more to say that even if that's difficult for you, like, exactly, you can achieve what you desire. Like, that's what, ironically, motivated me to write in a Discord channel that I usually don't write in that much, which is the motivation and inspiration channel, and that message is still there. I wrote that the night I couldn't sleep at like 4:30 in the morning. But that was just the sort of thing that I wanted to emphasize, is that it doesn't matter who you are or where you came from. You can achieve something big. Even if that big thing is small. Like, if that's monumental for you and if that's your dream, go for it. Like, I really mean that. Like, if you're in a position where you are having a setback, like, I cannot dictate what happens in your life. I cannot just influence everything. I can more just encourage or advise or recommend just that you move forward. And I really hope that that's something that anyone is able to reach, whether you are watching the stream live, whether you are watching the VOD, or I'm even thinking about highlighting this and putting it on YouTube and other places. Like, I want you to know that you can absolutely achieve your goals. And no matter who you are, I absolutely believe in you. Like, I hope that you will be able to have the experiences that I've gotten to have. Like, I am really excited, not just for me, but for everyone. Like, you know? You will meet those really special people in your life. I'm sure of it. And you will meet those people at very unexpected moments. And another thing. There is no estimated date on when you are going to achieve something. I did not know in 2019, oh hey, I'm gonna be 20 years old when I'm gonna see my first online friend IRL. I did not know that when I started streaming. Like, I feel like if I just knew that something was gonna happen, that would defeat the purpose of working towards that goal. Like, through this experience, it pushed me to seek out therapy. I got to meet all sorts of new online friends this year, and I managed to find someone that's like a sibling to me. And because you never know when something's going to happen, because you never know when something is going to happen, you should never give up no matter what happens. I was the most depressed I had ever been back in 2023, and I think it was LBW himself that told me that even if it feels impossible for things to improve or things to get better, like, it will. You don't know when, but it will happen. And that it would just be something really special. I remember reading that and that really sticking with me. And, sure enough, my 19th birthday, I got the biggest surprise I had ever gotten. In 2025, I met a bunch of new friends, online friends for the first time in a while. Admittedly, I still kind of stand by that 2025 was one of the worst years of my life. I experienced some really difficult moments in it, but that doesn't mean it was all bad. It was not all inherently bad. And then this year has just been one of the best years of my life. Like, this has been amazing. Just all the friends I've gotten to meet, the insane and monumental thing that happened this weekend, like what is waiting for me? Like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm blown away. Just what's to come and what awaits me. What new friends am I gonna meet? Or like, who are the new friends that I will meet in the future? Like, what are the big steps that I'm going to take in my life? Like, I'm curious to know what those will be, but not when they will happen. Because again, I would just like to emphasize that there is no estimated release date for something. There is no estimated date for something to happen. Like, take your time. Enjoy the road. Like, enjoy the road to getting there. Like, I could say, okay, I'm gonna get Twitch partner, but I'm not gonna know when I get that. I'm not gonna know when I reach that goal. No one will. But if you want it to happen, then it will happen. And sure, there may be the worries of, oh, what if Twitch ends its services, or oh, what if requirements are increased or something like that. But like, if you are already thinking of the setbacks and potential negatives, that, in my eyes, is the definition of a fixed mindset. By having that growth mindset and knowing that something is a possibility, I feel that something can absolutely be achieved. Like, man. I'm just so excited for what's to come. I'm wrapping up the final few months of my 7th year of streaming. A really special year for me. And, I'm very curious to know what the road to 8 years will look like. Like, what will await me in that period of time? What will await me at all? Just in life. What will await you guys? Like, who knows? Maybe next year you will actually get to achieve something that you've wanted for a really long time. Like, I hope that that's you. And even if it's not you, don't let that get to you. And don't let that bog you down. Because that will be you, and you will get that moment to shine. That's something that I feel really strongly about, and I strongly believe in. And I hope that you all will be able to pick the path that's best for you. And I hope that you will be able to achieve really great things and really monumental things. Because each and every person in this world is special. Again, not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's the rightest, not everyone's the smartest or anything like that, but I know that you guys will absolutely achieve something special. And I will be right there with you in spirit. That's it. That's all I really have to say about that. I appreciate you all for being here no matter how long you've been here. Normally when I miss a stream, I have like a makeup stream, but actually, I don't actually think that's gonna happen. Because based on my calculations, I am actually okay with letting that go to reach my goal for the amount of times I want to stream this year. So I think that, that it'll probably just be... Last week will just remain as just that Monday, Wednesday without a Friday. But, yeah. To be honest, LBW, I only just found out about that direct within the past couple of hours. Between the big trip, I really have kind of been out of touch with everything. I don't really know if there's anything I specifically want, but what I really want is just something that I'll be excited about. Yeah, they didn't announce it until this morning, but I didn't find out about it until, like, 7 p.m., like, when I woke up after I got home. Yeah. I just hope that there will be something that I like. And all I know is that I like Mario, I like Pokemon, and Sonic is kind of mid in my opinion. But yeah, Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something Mario. I mean, it's Nintendo after all. I would be surprised if there wasn't. But I also know really unexpected things can happen there as well. I mean, between, like, the Mario and Luigi series being revived, in 2024, that just opens the door to so many different possibilities. I wouldn't complain if there was another year of Luigi. I'd just be very surprised if it came out of nowhere. Alright, I've done a lot of talking today, and not, like, as much gameplay. I don't really have a set goal for Pokopia tonight. I really just wanted to have this on in the background while I just sort of conveyed my thoughts about everything and just telling you my story of this past weekend and just my story in general. Maybe if, as I walk around, there's something I want to try and accomplish, but this was always meant to be more of a shorter stream, so we'll see how long I end up going for. By the way, Apple's actual birthday, is in, 4 minutes, in our time zone. Her birthday's June 9th. I think the only remotely not as quiet thing happening during the month of June may be the subathon goals that I try to tackle, because there's of course the Mario Party boards that I need to make, but also some other stuff. Let me see. Like a Tilt Control Mario Kart stream, half-off redemptions, which I forgot about. Well, of course I was gonna forget. I didn't even know I was gonna stream tonight. Mario Party I already mentioned. 50% off merch for a week. The Retro Nostalgia Week is something that I'm working on. I have some games that I've been wanting to play. And then a mobile game week, which, that would be interesting. That would be interesting, playing, a bunch of mobile games from my childhood, or maybe just mobile games from today. Oh my god, it's a Moltres. Alright. Again, I'm just gonna walk around each of the areas. If there's something I feel like I want to work on, I'll work on the area. If not, I'm likely just gonna get food and relax for the night. It's been a crazy past couple of days. I just wanted to come on and just sort of give you guys an update. I think Pokopia DLC was in the Terra leak from 2024, including places like Lavender Town and stuff. So I would not be surprised at all if this got DLC, especially with how successful it's been. But hey, we'll see. I forgot, what time is that direct tomorrow? I'm going to imagine like 9 or 10 a.m. EST. Or I can be blessed and it can actually be later in the day. Okay, fine. If it is 10 a.m., I have to improve my sleep schedule anyway. And I did sleep a lot, so odds are I will probably be awake. 50 minutes is a pretty solid timeline, or time for a direct. But yeah. That I did know about. I did know about the 90-minute treehouse. Hold on. Yup, it's at 10 a.m. and then 11 a.m. I think there's a treehouse. Okay. Back in the E3 days, treehouse was all day long, multiple days. Yup. I really wish that we had something like E3 again. Like, those are really fun days. Hi, Tangrowth. I know a lot of people want more ice types in Pokopia. Yeah, I'm gonna send her a message later on. She might be asleep by now, because I know where she was today, and I know that sort of thing can take a lot out of her. I'll definitely message her later. But yes, happy birthday to the apple. And also, I did see the pun. Happily birthday. Oh, while I'm here. No problem, LBW. I'm gonna be wrapping up soon. So you thankfully won't be missing much, but I appreciate you being here. I hope you sleep well and remember that you are amazing. I appreciate the lurk. I didn't even know you streamed recently, Mysterious Star. Unless it wasn't recent and you just mean most recent in general. Oh hey, it's Snorlax. Oh, wait, yeah, you did. I did see that. I just forgot about it. I did know about that, I just, was busy, and it, slipped my mind. That is still D-Day to me, though. There's not much to say about this area, but I know I've been wanting a specific item from Greedent. I was actually going to go back to Pallet Town, but on second thought, I normally wrap up Pokopia streams in the Skylands, so we're just going to go right back where we were. What was I thinking? I'm confused. I don't know what you're referring to. I hope I didn't take Fotogato's spot. Alright. Because I normally wrap up my streams in the Skylands. I have a house in the Skylands. I walked around each of the areas just to have a last sort of look of all of them, just to see if there's anything I want to work on. And then I decided to go to the final spot, um, which is where the home I usually wrap up is in. Alright. It's also impossible to go to the Skylands last through the area gates. Alright. I think that's that. Alright. Well, it's been nice to come back and chat for a while. I'm glad I got to update everyone on this past weekend. And I'm really excited for what's to come. Like, there is definitely a lot that I'm looking forward to. I don't think, that, what's it called? I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow, or today if you're in my time zone and beyond. I will most likely be back on Wednesday, playing whatever I feel like. I'm still getting my bearings and getting back into things, so we'll see how I'm feeling. So, yeah. I think that's that. You all are amazing. I hope that you will be able to reach any goal you can, no matter who you are, what position you are in, and whatnot. I love and appreciate you all deeply. And yeah, since this is a short stream, I'm not going to have my usual outro. I'm instead just going to put my links and go about things like that. But, of course, if you, what's it called? Of course, if you want to keep up with my community, I want to keep up with things outside of the stream, the Discord is the #1 place for that. Of course, you've got all of my socials, such as my Blue Sky Instagram. Of course, you've got my YouTube channels, my website, if as a way to see archives of the stream and fan art. Of course, you've got my merch store, A-Dylite.shop, and the stream teams that I'm a part of, the Benevolent Springers, the Benevolent Springers, and the Super Mario Society. And as a reminder, I am in fact trying to reach 2,000 followers by the end of this year. If we reach that goal, I will be streaming for 2,000 minutes. And yeah, we are currently on the road to 1,700. We'll see if that's something I reach. We will see if that is something I reach. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have for now, and I don't believe we'll be raiding anybody. I mean, I can check, but yeah, I don't quite think there's anyone that I could go say hi to at the moment, but it is what it is. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have to mention. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, definitely be sure to stay safe, stay positive, stay healthy, have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I will see you all on the flip side. Have a good one, my friends.